Hi there, my name is Jerry, and I couldn't help but notice that you typed in how to buy a house with a tax lien. I've been a real estate investor for 35 years, and I've bought houses, through the traditional means. I've also bought houses through tax deeds, auctions, and foreclosures. And it can be very rewarding, but there is a number of risks that you need to be aware of before you get really rolling in it. Now, everyone knows if you don't pay your taxes, bad things happen. The county wants their money, and they need their money. They have to pay for the schools and the teachers. They've got to pay for the fire department, the police department, community centers, pools, recreational centers, all sorts of things, libraries. So they do need the money, and if you or somebody gets behind in their taxes, generally they'll let them go a year and then they get into default. Now, every state is different, and counties inside those states act a little bit differently too. But basically, there's two ways of the government getting their money. One is to do an auction on a tax lien. Now, that's just the amount of money that's being owed on the property. And the other is a tax deed where they'll actually put the property up for auction. And their mandate is to get the money out of it that is owing to them. And when it goes to auction, then it gets bid up to sometimes even over the price of actually what the property would cost if you went down the road and bought it yourself. So there's a few things to be really checking out. The first thing is doing your due diligence on the property. Make sure that it is a viable property. They have tax liens and tax deeds on sidewalks and pieces of useless properties and properties that you're unable to get to. You'd have to get a helicopter to get into. They're landlocked. And I've also seen at auction where people are buying a piece of useless waterfront when they're bidding online, and basically I've seen them go up as high as $35,000 on a piece of property that was worth absolutely zero. So really do your due diligence on the property. If you can get into the property, definitely go in. If you're from out of state or out of town or out of country, have a realtor do that. A lot of the properties are vacant. Some you can get into, and others are occupied by the owners, and you're not able to go in there. So don't even knock on the door and ask if you can go in there. It's just not a really good thing to do. One of the things you really want to do is, once you get doing your due diligence, to see if there's any other liens on the property. Now, there could be a builder's lien from a contractor. There could be the utility district, could be a water sewer lien on it. The school district can often put a lien on the property. One of the biggest ones that's kind of a little bit hidden away sometimes is the IRS. They'll put a lien on the property. And if you end up going to foreclosure on this property, you're going to have to pay off most of those liens. A few will be kind of swept under the rug, but majority of them you will still have to pay. So you have to look at, is the amount owing and the price that you're paying for the property still a good deal? Often it's not. Same with when you're buying a deed. Often the mortgage is dissolved, but there still can be some outstanding liens to the county. And often, the right hand doesn't know what the left hand's doing. So you really need to do your due diligence and really work at it. It can be very rewarding, but it can also be very risky. So you really need to I just can't stress enough to really drill down and do that due diligence on the property, and just skip the emotion, go strictly, as a business. This is all about numbers. Speaking of business, I recently started an online business, and the reason I bring this up, because doing this type of investing can be very risky. And what I'm doing now is working online at a very low risk and a great residual income. Now, this has works when I'm not working. It's constantly working, and it's fantastic. What it does do is allows me to free up my time so I can look at other real estate investments as well, knowing that I've got a steady stream of income coming in. If you'd like to have a look at what I'm doing, just click the link on the page or go to workwithjerry.com. That's workwithgerry.com. Have a look at it. It might be a really interesting fit or a really good combination with your real estate investing. This is Jerry signing off, hoping I was able to answer your question on how to buy a house with a tax lien. Have yourself an awesome day, and good luck out there. Cheers.